I have a very specific message coming through. I did my invocations already. I think I'll probably do this off camera from now on. But okay, I'm having some very specific energy coming through. It's not going to be for everyone, definitely not. But this is it's a group energy, and this is a ritual, or not witchcraft. This is coming in as like satanic, specifically, and I did ask and get clarification to confirm that very specifically. I'm going to be channeling, or at least in the beginning part of this, like through scrying, just because it's coming in very specifically. It's coming in strong visions. This is a very big group. Like there's, at first I was seeing it as like a small group of like women, chose. It might just be that there's multiple parts to this group. It's possible that this is like a continuation of information I've received before as well. But there are total in this group over 40 people. Over 40 people focused on one target. I'm seeing the number 42 specifically, 42, 43. But okay, this many people doing like satanic ritual targeting one person. So I think it started off smaller. It started off with just this group, or just the smaller, at least doing the ritual stuff. Hold on though, let me make sure I'm getting this correct, because that's just what I started seeing. So, but I feel like the whole group, the entirety of it has been intact the whole time. Just not all of it has been visible the whole time. Now a lot more attention is on this target. This target is something different. Getting, like my throat's getting tight. This is very underground. This is very underground and very hidden. I'm almost getting like a Masonic sense to this, at least for some in this group, but then using other people, other connections to carry out other tasks, to delegate, to further remove and to hide more easily in the shadows. So these people, like the ones really truly behind it, are much darker, and the more regular people involved are like younger. They don't really know what they're involved in. They use their egos against them. So they use bribes and they use blackmail to control. There was someone targeted. My heart's starting to hurt. There was someone targeted, and heart and throat. They're not successful. They can't understand. They felt there should be an easy target, but it's got their attention. They tried many different things. They tried so many things. Both like regular everyday life things, different ways to try to affect someone negatively, just in everyday existence, people around them. Nothing worked. They tried esoteric means, occult means, satanic ritual work. Nothing's working. So their group is growing to try to prevent this person from seeing anymore. They see, this person sees, and they don't know how this person sees them, because they shouldn't be able to see them. But this person sees them clearly. But they're hidden. This person's a seer, and they're trying to prevent themselves from being found out. They didn't know this person was a seer when they targeted them. They didn't know this person's spiritual rank when they targeted them either. Or maybe they assumed this person didn't know their own. Maybe they did see. They were siphoning, trying to siphon the energy from this person. This person should have been unalived a long time ago. They should have all this person's power by now. But they find themselves depleted and more confused than ever, inching closer to consequence. It feels dark and still, and they feel out of options. But they're still trying. I feel how weak their bodies are. I feel how weak their energy. Whatever they're doing isn't working, but the rituals they're doing, the entities they are making deals with, require payment. Their spirits are withering away. They're losing power instead of gaining it. They're losing their own voice, their own freedom, instead of gaining more. They're being shown, spirits reflecting back to them how little power they actually have in trying to have power over others. The spirit takes away everything to remind them who they actually are, to put them in their rightful place. They feel a lot of fear, but they're trying to stay out of fear because they know what fear does to them. But everything they thought they knew is being reorganized right before their very eyes. They were wrong. They see it now. But they still don't understand. The cards call. Watching, waiting, listening, unable to see, unable to know. They've lost access to some of their gifts, if not all. The price they pay for failing. They pay for trying to play God in other people's lives. Everything catches back up to them. The price they pay for trying to sacrifice another for personal gain. The underground. Now let's talk about this little witchy group, this group of females, a small group of females doing dark energy work, dark magic, thinking that it has no consequences. They think siphoning from another's good karma will take away from their bad karma. Like they can siphon their energy and reap the rewards of someone else's efforts by stealing their energy. They want to be more beautiful. They don't feel very beautiful, this group. They don't feel powerful. They're very insecure women in this group. But they think they're really cool doing this energy work. It makes them feel powerful. They like playing with it. It makes them feel cool. They might even be open about this, about the things that they do. They're Queen of Wands reverse type of people. They feel they deserve more than what they get, but they actually don't. What they get is feedback for what they're putting out. They feel really small, so they feel like they have to make themselves really big or make their energy bigger. So it's like comes out more grandiose in their personalities. The way they present themselves, it doesn't feel real. They don't have any real power. I think they like the aesthetic more than anything, but they do play with I don't know how successful they've been in anything. To be honest, I don't know how long they've even been doing it. It doesn't really feel like they're very experienced to me, to be honest. And just the low energy, the dense frequency that they reside in, and the very low energy levels that they have, and the fact that they don't really know how to work. They don't seem to know how to work their energy so cleanly. doesn't make what they're doing very powerful at all. It's very flat, and it lacks a lot of dimension. So, of course, whatever they're doing to target someone else with this kind of work is not working. I do feel like they are learning as they go in this. Maybe this is not what they typically do. Let's kind of figure out why they've been doing this in the first place. But you can just see over and over how nothing hits, nothing at all. Okay, so this person though that they're attacking is just been going through this insane transformation process where we have the dragonfly coming out of its cocoon body here, from living underwater, right, to now it gets to come out and live the last like few weeks of its life or whatever above the water, and the Empress is born. So no wonder this no wonder they don't really have an effect. So from the beginning, the underground, it seems they didn't see necessarily this person's spiritual ranking either, or their value. They didn't see that this was actually a high value person. Maybe because they were going through a transformation, maybe because they were in some kind of vulnerable place here. Because there's a lot of attack. So even with sloppy like witchcraft, they would have assumed that it would have done enough. But okay, this person is protected for one, because they're not getting hit really by anything, and they're also going through this massive transformation. That's divine protection if I ever did see it. That's some anointing-ish right there, because this person has a very specific path that they had to fulfill, and this is divinely protected, this path. Yeah, so temperance is out. That makes sense. So as this person was growing and kind of coming into themselves, maybe they're very isolated with these attacks, but it was like, it's like divine protection, it's divine blessing in disguise, because here's the Ten of Swords, because that temperance card. So it's a shell of protection against this person. The isolation was a shell of protection delivered by the Great Spirit. Notice how it's not like loneliness is a cat playing with all its pentacles. It's very flexible energy too. Cats are very adaptable creatures. And it's interesting because there's a silliness to this person, so maybe they really didn't look like much at all. Maybe they don't take themselves very seriously, but they have a really powerful presence, a really powerful spirit. I do get strong, they're probably the creative type. This usually tends to be the type that gets siphoned the most and gets attacked in these ways the most, because for one, they're really vulnerable. Their energy is open and flowing, right? They have the strongest sexual energy, the strongest life force energy, and it's because it's moving so freely. This is why they're able to be so creative, right? So innovative. So these types are often attacked the most, and because their life force is so strong, people are often trying to siphon that energy for themselves. trying to make a buck off of someone else's work, energy, whatever it is, in various ways. People's bodies sometimes, like they get away with this in lots of different ways. But so this stem outwardly, I get okay, so there's this like small little witchy group of ladies who are learning as they go. There are other people out in like the everyday who play their role, other roles. So this would be like this ritualistic stuff is more hidden, and it's to help keep things hidden, to help keep things from being provable in like a law of court, to keep things from being like evident, it's like a control tactic used to make people look crazy because it messes with this plays in the fourth dimension, so it messes with the psychological body. So they can force someone into like a psychosis through means of energy work, for example, and depending on how that person handles it, so they could either be very grounded through that experience because for whatever reasons they know how to keep themselves grounded. They're not attached to anything coming through. They're not taking everything that comes through their mind as true. Or they can really lose it. Some people end up permanently in mental health institutions because of things like this. And no one ever knows the difference. But these things do happen to keep people silenced. They can influence your decisions. So they really take time to study people. So they have a lot of people involved so that they can keep tabs and and they just share all this information they share all the information of what they've done, and then they wait and see how it worked. Because they are really trying to learn more deeply into the occult and how they can be less and less present. They're trying to perfect this so that they don't have to be seen at all. They also have to test it out and see if it's working or not. But through this particular circumstance, they seem to actually be losing their power. Specifically, like the occult, because they're having to pay their gifts to their field work, because whatever they're promising as a sacrifice is not panning out, because you can't volunteer someone else's energy like without their consent. Like they have to consent to it. So for example, if they're trying to influence someone's decisions or influence the things around them so that it puts this person in a dangerous position, so because I'm getting like they're trying to put this person in like life or death situations, trying to corner this person, trying to corner this person, trying to frame this person too, trying to make it so like trying to push this person to a death point basically. So whether that's through self-unaliving or through some like odd circumstance that seems like a gnarly accident, but they're trying to sacrifice this life so they can take the life force permanently, because they can't keep siphoning energy from this person while they're alive. But they want this person's gifts. So they're okay. So the ritual, part of the ritual is they're trying to get this person's gifts, but they have to get the life force. They have to bring the life force. I wonder if they're even selling their own soul so that they can be replaced with this soul, this energy. This is fucking weird for me. I don't usually read this type of energy. There's like a lot about soul swapping, so they might be selling their own souls, their own gifts, in order to like try to upgrade to someone that they see as like a higher spiritual rank. I don't know. But then they're selling their souls, and they have all this darkness within them too. But this is something that can't be stolen. It is divinely protected, and these divine gifts that this person has, they can't just be stolen, because they can only be wielded by someone who has gone through their trials to purify. So unless they were to go through those trials, unless they were to purify themselves and whatever they needed to purify within themselves, they would never be able to hold these gifts. Even if they were successful in this, they wouldn't have like the capacity to be able to hold this energy. They cannot harness something that they don't know how to wield. You know, it's like certain energies are really dangerous. You can't just wield them out of nowhere, you know? And especially ones like this, Spirit isn't just going to give them to just anyone. That's why Spirit only gives these things to those that are purified, those that are willing to do the work to surrender to the divine, not to the darkness of life. This is true liberation. And these people don't understand that. These people are, the only way they can get any sort of power or gifts whatsoever is if they make deals with the dark side. That's not actually true. That's what they feel is true, though. But really, they just don't want to do what it actually takes to cultivate these gifts on their own. It's really lazy, is what it is, and that's why they don't actually have any real power, and that's why their gifts are being taken away from them. I mean, they weren't like ever anything they developed like on their own anyway, so. And you can't like, anytime you put something fake up against something real, like obviously what's real is gonna win. That's a no-brainer. For this individual, these are God-given gifts, literally divine gifts, and they cannot just be taken. They won't be. They just won't. Yeah, okay, so this is actually coming out this way when it's blank on the other side on this card. But even like flipping it around, we got the pow pow in the reverse. So no matter what attempts they make to try to take this person's life, it's just like wiped clean. It's like almost like it didn't even happen, because like I said, they have no power over this type of energy. They have no power really to begin with, unless they're like straight taking it from people. Like these people operate in chaos energy, but they don't have any real power. They don't know how to actually harness that, how to wield that responsibly, and to be able to use it properly. Whereas this person can hold chaos, because they built the foundation for it. They have the capacity to hold this in a loving way and to use it with peace. Their intentions are pure. They aim to use chaos energy. This is for healing purposes, for creative purposes, to share with the world, to share love. That's not what these other people are using it for. That's what it's reserved for. That's what this energy is meant for. And it won't be used in any other way. It will not. These people are backtracking. They're having to go through everything, all of their notes, and trying to understand this person because they were wrong about everything and they've completely plateaued. They can't really go anywhere. They've really screwed the pooch, and they don't even, like, their team isn't even effective. It doesn't matter that they have so many people, 40 plus people in this group against one target. It doesn't matter because they have no power and this person has God by their side. So these people coming up against this person is basically this group of people just coming up against God. And this is God's vessel here, one of them. It's just a vessel, a clear, pure vessel that allows Spirit, God, Divine, to freely move through, understand, which means God is always there, never leaving, is fiercely protecting that vessel to do what it came here to do. It's on mission. It's here on mission. And this energy that this vessel possesses can only be used for what it's reserved for. Understand? No one else can take it. Without having to face some pretty extreme consequences, as they're already experiencing. But sometimes people just don't get it. They're trying to force pressure onto this person, just like pressure points. Finances is one of them. They could be making sure that this person is lacking finances to be able to take care of themselves properly. Again, creating all these circumstances. These people just lost the freaking plot. The sacred blink in reverse. Keep trying to put this person in danger, whether it's life circumstances, making it hard for this person to survive on their own, whatever it is, or actually putting their life in physical danger, using magic, whatever it is, all these like satanic rituals, but this is in the reverse, so again, protection. Okay, so they are desperate now. They're rushing because I think what I'm getting from this is they don't really have any more time. This transformation has already taken place. They're rushing to try to really finish this job, but it's never gonna happen because it was never meant to be finished in the first place. This was always meant more just for this person's becoming. These people just kind of played a role in that. I don't even think this person knows everyone in this group. So spirit is moving things along for this person. Like the rest is just kind of slipping away into the night. There's a lot of whispers about this, a lot of there's a lot of mystery to it, really, like what even really went down. Because again, there's like this everyday, so whoever you're seeing in your everyday, where these people that like, it's like covertly spying, attacking, whatever, just like, and they're probably more indirect, like subtle jabs, you know, like female bullying or like passive aggressive shit. It might seem more like petty shenanigans than anything, but that's just like on the surface what it looks like. It's not anything at all what's actually happening beneath the surface, behind the scenes. You get these people are really exhausted. Whatever darkness these people were calling on has like defeated itself. I don't know what that means exactly, but I just heard that. I also get a sense that this person that's being targeted is bored. I thought I dropped 2 cards. Maybe it's just one. Space Case came out. Okay, I see. So this person can look quite aloof, but appearances aren't everything. This person actually has a lot of depth to them. I think because this person looks so aloof, oftentimes people don't think they're very smart. There's like a kindness to them too. I mean, they did come up with the Empress and the Nine of Pentacles. They're very solid, like down-to-earth person. It's like Venus energy, right? Very loving, but like maybe they saw this person as like ditzy, like a space case, very aloof, and they didn't think this person was very smart at all. But then it actually, like things were flipped upside down, things were turned on their head, because they completely misunderstood and underestimated this person, because they have a lot of depth. They're a very abstract thinker. Again, they're a creative type, but there's actually a lot of intelligence coming through with the space case coming. I'm thinking of NASA, like I mean, not that this person is an actual genius, maybe they are, I don't know, maybe they're not, but so on the surface this person isn't necessarily showing off all their intelligence though. It seems like they were probably making themselves smaller as well. They ended up having to go through this transformation to like grow into themselves fully, to become more of themselves, because they weren't being fully themselves. They weren't like allowing themselves to be seen fully. So being attacked, being thought of as someone who's not very smart, but people are missing their depth entirely, just viewing them for like the surface level of who they're judging them as, not who they actually are. So like this person's not even actually seen for who they really are. Seems like a lot of just attacks. Even though this person has remained solid and stable and playful, and I think like people just don't take them seriously. Maybe they I don't know if they really even, the cat energy is coming out. This person probably spends a lot of time on their, just vibing on their own, but they're solid, they're very down to earth and just kind of whatever. This person's actually really, really intelligent and has a lot of depth, probably because they're in this cat energy, though they explore their internal world, and they let themselves be inspired by life. They just create everything. They think more abstract, they think very differently than most. It could be neurodivergent, doesn't have to be, but all of this is missed because people view them from the outside and assume they know who they are already, assume they know what they're like already. Someone might be getting very hurt. I don't know who that is. I hope not, but ambulance just went by and the police. I was getting like a backfire of something, some sort of energy work. Someone may end up getting very hurt from it. So warning to any of you doing shitty energy work out there that you shouldn't be doing. Don't do it. Please don't do it, because you're gonna hurt yourself. And I mean, it's your life. You do whatever you want to do, but I suggest you don't do it. Okay. Sometimes, like, when I say things, I feel when it lands, even though this video hasn't been seen yet, time isn't really, it doesn't matter everywhere, it only matters in this dimension. So, but I'm reading multiple dimensions at once, and I can feel when this lands, and I can feel the fear, and I really do mean that when I warn against, if you are a part of this and you see this, stop doing whatever you're doing. You're gonna make things worse for yourself. That's all you're ever gonna do. That's all you're ever gonna do. If you're the one surviving this, good on ya. Keep it going. They're not gonna touch you. It is what it is. They can keep trying though. But again, they're just gonna destroy their own lives. More and more and more. So sometimes you just gotta let people be whatever they wanna be and deal with whatever consequences they deserve. I'll leave this one here. I feel like there's gonna be a lot more information coming out though over the course of this next week about this specifically. It's felt very strong energy. I'm having a lot of different things coming through, but I'm also having a lot of energies that don't want me to speak on this. I mean, this is a big group, so none of them want to get caught. None of them want to be seen for what they do, for the dark ritual work that they do. This is all supposed to be hidden anyways. There's some darker stuff involved, but we'll get into that in another video. These are very dark people doing very dark things, and this is actually a very big scale operation, and this is just one small part of it. This group of 40 plus is just one small part of it. I see it's expanding out further though too. But again, we'll get to that later. So, como amore te mito, si quiero protect, factimist.